the design concepts that came from the information and input that we have received through the last community meetings and questionnaires and meeting with Kids Club. We gathered a lot of great information, so we'll be excited to see what that has transformed into. A little bit of background. So the project is funded once again through the Parks and Green Spaces Levy. So thank you, Seattle, for $150,000 for that. And we also have a community group, a local family that has partnered with Maple Leaf Community Council, and they went for a Department of Neighborhoods large matching grant and received it. So yay, that's exciting. A lot of hard work there, so that's really fabulous, and that's fabulous, and we're happy about that. And that funding is going to help us to create a much better adventure play area and children's garden than we would have been able to have created before, so it's very helpful. The family that is pushing this project through had a tragic loss of their young son, and with that we will be doing some sculptural elements and artistic elements within the project to pay attribution to their son. So that will be a part of this project, and we'll be discussing that a little bit tonight as well. We also have Donna Harvey-Miller with Maple Leaf Community Council, who is leading a fundraising charge to provide funding for a shelter within the family terrace, and so we're hopeful to have a shelter to cover within this area as well. Just want to touch on quickly the public input we received. So we have a Kids Club, we had a community meeting, we had questionnaires, and we received 42 questionnaires back, very thoughtful responses. So thank you to anyone in the audience who did that. That was really great to see. And then of course this meeting tonight, we're going to go together a lot more input from you and feedback. And July 27th, there's the Maple Leaf Social, and that's 2 weeks from tonight. And they would like to gather some input at that meeting and show the drawings and everything that we'll be seeing tonight. So we'll be taking some comments through that time period. And then after that, we'll be finalizing the schematic design. And we'll be posting that on the website and making that available for people to see. So with that, I'd like to introduce Katie.
Hi again. Go briefly over some of the things that we've heard so far and where we've been so far with the design for the family terrace. Back in May, we met with the Kids Club. Kids Club meets at Olympic View Elementary, and they use the park quite often. So it was a great opportunity for us to get some input from the kids themselves. And this is just some pictures and things that we did that day. We had some arts and crafts kind of hour, and had some cut and paste and that kind of great stuff, and drawings and some great ideas from the Kids Club. And then we also had our public meeting, our first public meeting for the family terrace itself. And we also did the cut and paste thing there. And then we also had some breakout groups and talked a lot about the specific areas that are within the family terrace. So the children's garden, the built play area, and then the adventure play area. And these are just some of the boards that we had and what was marked up. And then as Kim had mentioned, we also received a lot of information online. We had a great response online as well. So summary of community input, adventure play, some things that we heard throughout all of those venues that we just talked about. Climbing was something that everyone really was interested in. Discovery and looking for found objects within the adventure play area. Obstacles, things to hide under, climb on, those kind of things. Tree house or some sort of platforms, again, for hiding under and climbing on top of. Boulders, logs, something for like a balance beam. Sand and gravel pits, areas that you can get dirty and dig around and have fun that way. An on-grade slide, heard a lot, and then zip line has definitely heard a lot. And then connections between the built play and the natural play, so kind of blurring those lines a little bit. Built play, we heard that Natural materials were wanted, things that were made out of real wood and rocks and things like that. Swings, tunnels, again, platforms. Some of these kind of blur into one category and another. Slides, swirly and straight. Sequential play. When we were talking a lot with the Kids Club in particular, everything was a story, and how did you go from one piece to another piece to another piece, and how do all those kind of come together. Many ways to exit, poles, ropes, nets, that kind of stuff, ADA accessibility, and of course there's drainage issues out in the park right now. The children's garden, seasonal change, things that change all the time, so there's always something that's interesting. Playing with textures, things that are in children's scale, so using like plants, like dinosaur food, for example, that has big leaves and things that can kind of bring you down to their level. Incorporating like birds and butterflies and bugs somehow within the children's garden. Using some sort of rain garden or rainwater harvesting within the children's garden. A compost area, and then education through interaction with the landscape, not just having signage, but actually like educating children by having them engage into the area. Things that have a short time span, because we all know kids do. So things that you can see change very quickly, such as sunflowers, you can plant them and they get really big really quickly. Plants that smell, and mazes, and incorporating art within the area. And as Kim had mentioned, the Family Terrace Subcommittee, these are a couple of the schematic ideas that have that we've been working with them on so far. And so this is an idea of having a bike trail and having a quote going through the bike trail and a bike sculpture. And then incorporating, again, the idea of discovery and butterflies, and using butterflies throughout the park. And those could be like a game. Can you find 13 butterflies that will live in the park? And so this is just some very conceptual ideas of what those might be. Again, it's in the very early stages, so this is just some ideas of like a bronze sculpture of, this one's of a bee, or a stained glass butterfly to have something that's more colorful. And this here is just, this is really neat. This is an artist that put together, these are actual wings of a butterfly that happen to make letters. So there could be some way of incorporating that. So these will be on the boards too. I just thought this might be an easier way for you guys to take a look at some of these, and we'll be looking for input on this. And the idea is really just to give us an idea conceptually if we're on the mark or are we not. So that's why we're here today, to talk about it. These are just some examples of some pieces of play equipment that I've gone around and asked some local manufacturers, parks that are locally around the city. So what I thought we heard, and again, confirmed, is that we want natural play equipment, or natural materials. So wood, stainless steel slides, those kind of things. So these are just some ideas to give you just the essence of what we're talking about, really. And so don't take these literally. Like if you see a piece and you say, I like that, but I don't want 3 slides on it, I want this, tell us that. That's what we're here for today. So these are some examples of natural wood materials. Again, treehouse was mentioned and really wanted, and we did take a look at that. And we have been kind of looking at the budget and what we can really incorporate into this park. And unfortunately, we don't really have the money to have a separate structure, but we could have something, a treehouse play structure, something like that. So this is an example of that. So here's some more natural elements. These are pre-manufactured pieces. The log balancing beam, the log tunnels, the little mushroom steppers. Maybe that's not what we heard. Maybe we want something that's a little more nets and a little more colorful and just a little, not as natural and a little more modern, I guess.
It's still natural, it just happens to spiders.
It happens to be spiders. And this is kind of a compromise between the two. It's using the spiders and the kind of more modern play equipment, but with a more neutral, natural tone. I heard through the play, through all the meetings, green and red, green and purple, green and, so I'm like, okay, well, let's do green, and then we'll figure out what the other things are. Green, here's another example. Some platforms, again, and different ways to come off of things. And as Greg had mentioned, we'd like to go with a real stone tunnel or something like that, but these are some examples of a natural or a manufactured piece of equipment that we could do some caves and things like that and balancing beams. This is just a real picture of what that tree house structure might look like.